So it's time to ask and answer more questions with UXWBill. You know, I think if I'd have realized in advance what a pain in the butt it was going to be to edit all these videos and all that good stuff, I might have thought twice about doing this. But you know what they say about fools rushing in where angels fear to tread. So here I am answering all of your questions, and many of them for the second time, because the first time the little photo booth application on my MacBook screwed up enough times that I really couldn't salvage any of the video that I had shot. So I'm going to pick up with a question from Rockerboy12 Dog Lover, who writes in to ask, "Hello, what was that IBM computer in the background on your Trackstar 128 Apple II single computer board video?" Well, I answered this in the text comments below on the Ask UXWBill a Question video, as well as once before that. And what that is an IBM PS2 Model 80 with an 8507 monitor. That is a big, I think it's like supposed to be a 16 or so inch monochrome monitor with paper white phosphors from IBM. I never thought I'd find one, but I actually found one that was new in the box and promptly had the shipping people destroy it. Fortunately, the seller was good about it, and they sent me another one. And that one arrived in perfect shape. YouTube user wwsols asks, "I would like to know a bit more about your car history, like what was the first car that you owned and what eventually happened to it, and the second car that you owned, etc." Well, the first car that I ever really was able to call my own, although I did not own it, was the 1984 GMC Sierra with the 6.2-liter diesel in it. My second vehicle, that was the S10, and for a while I drove the Keykeeper's big brown piece of crap long before he had his driver's license. That's actually my dad's pickup truck. And so I drove that for a while. I still have my S10, and of course along the way I've had a couple other cars like the Lumina, the two Reliance, and I think that's pretty much it for all the cars that I have had. I don't have any old pictures of them, at least not any that I'm willing to go looking for. YouTube user HDXFH writes in and asks, "I like the electronic vids. Have you ever considered collecting and restoring antique radios and the like?" Funny you'd ask. I actually do have an electronic radio collection, an antique radio collection. I made a video showing some of the tube-type radios that are around here, many of which are restored and working. Two of my remaining projects are a Spartan 1037 AM/FM console that dates from shortly after World War II, and a 1936-era Zenith console. I believe it's a 6S52. And both of those are in need of restoration and appreciation, but they're both safely stored over at the Roach Palace right now. YouTube user Alicon9X, and I hope I'm pronouncing that properly, asks, "Have you ever considered making a home intranet? And would you make a video about it?" Well, no, I'm not real crazy about making a video about my network infrastructure and all the equipment that's attached to it and things like that. Not only would it be a colossal amount of work, but I'd be worried about attracting potentially undesirable attention to some of the things that I have. I do have a home intranet. I mean, I have a number of devices on a TCP/IP network. Some of them are appliances, some of them are servers, some of them are printers, and some of them are just clients. So I think that meets the definition of having a basic intranet. YouTube user kwicksandz came up with a very interesting question. "What was your first computer ever?" Well, the first computer that I think I ever played with and have any memory of was my dad's Apple II Plus. My dad's Apple II Plus was something that he bought in the late 1970s, early 1980s, somewhere in there, and he actually intended to run an investment software package on it, but being as it was the home computer, we had a lot of Scholastic, yep, that's the book club people these days, WXWBill software on it, and I played a lot on that thing. But the first computer that was really truly my own was something that was given to me by my grandmother. When she moved from her house far away to here in town, she no longer had any room for her for her Kaypro professional computer. And so she gave it to us, and in turn it trickled down to me. And I was about as delighted as any second grader could be. Here I had this K-Pro computer with a number of software packages, including the Easy Word Processor from MicroPro and a paint program by the name of Swift Paint that let me paint in 3 glorious shades of green on a medium persistence phosphor Samsung monochrome CGA monitor, which is kind of a contradiction in terms, but that's what it was. Anyway, I love that computer. That thing became my world, and these days that machine is long since gone. It disappeared in a basement flood, but time and eBay makes everything right, and so I have found a replacement, and one of these days I'll make a video about it, although it definitely does need a little bit of help to get up and going again. YouTube user TallDude123 asks, Bill, how many flash drives do you have, and do you carry one all the time with you on your keychain? I have several. No, I do not make a habit of carrying them with me because I really don't have any need to. YouTube user onyxreddragon asks, how many computers or computer-like items do you own? What is the oldest piece of hardware you own? Well, I have so many computers that I'm not even going to try to count them. There are parts machines, there are loaner machines, there's stuff that I haven't gotten around to discarding yet. And the oldest piece of hardware that I own at present is an IBM Pc, the model 5150, the original IBM Pc, which is presently in a bit of a state of disarray right now because prior to my basement flood in 2004, I was working on putting a modern hard drive in it and a VGA card and things like that, and I just never have returned to that project, but it is safely stored in my yard shed, and I will come back to it. I had an Apple IIe, and I had an Apple III, and I had a Tandycolor Computer 3, as well as an Osborne Luggable, but unfortunately those machines disappeared in the basement flood that I had in 2004, which was really too bad, because they could have been some cool projects, and the Apple IIe in particular had a lot of really rare and unique options in it, including a 2 megabyte flash disk, which was really kind of cool. YouTube user CamelProd666 asks, are you ever planning to show your IBM PS2 7186 machine, the black-cased P70? Well, I believe it shows up in my P70, P75, and L40SX video, and that's as much as I've been planning to do with it video-wise, because software and hardware-wise, it is just an IBM PS2 P70 with a different colored case. So no, I'm not really planning on making a video for that machine exclusively because there's just not that much to say about it. YouTube user Andruha11234, which I hope I'm pronouncing correctly, asks, what websites do you use and or visit on a regular basis? And to tell you the truth, I have a huge list of bookmarks and things like that. One of the websites you will find me on with some degree of regularity is the Audio Karma website. I'm sometimes found there posting under the same username that I do here, UXWBill. Other than that, I don't really have a hard and fast website routine, I guess you could say. Probably the only other website that I visit on a regular basis, maybe more than once a week or something like that, is Rob Cockerham's cockeyed.com, where you can find his adventures with his helpers, showing how much is inside various household objects.